Thank you for joining us. Our group was tasked with examining the leadership development needs of the next generation of leaders in our workforce. Group members include Heather Ritson, Leah Snell-Ravalski, Kelly Vetter, and Lindsay Ward. We all created this presentation as a part of the Master of Organizational Development program at BGSU in the summer semester of 2023. Why is it important to understand the needs and features of the next generation of leaders? The acronym VUCA can be used to describe our current world environment, which stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. The labor shortages that began during the pandemic are expected to continue as the number of U.S. citizens of working age continues to decline and be a smaller and smaller portion of the population. Currently, there are 5 generations in the workforce who need to communicate and work together. And attracting and retaining top employees means creating leaders who continue to learn and evolve. What type of workers will the next generation lead? Let's start with the baby boomers born between 1946 and 1964, who are expected to work well past the age when some of their previous generations may have stopped. They have been described as committed, self-sufficient, and competitive, but they needed to be in order to stand out in the large group that they came from. They live to work and are defined by their professional roles. They also prefer face-to-face communication. Next is Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980. Descriptions like resourceful, logical, and good problem solvers are used for this group. They were born in an analog world but came of age in the digital age. They also lived through the economic and social excesses of the 1980s and 90s. The millennial generation, born between 1981 and 1996, has been much written about and criticized. They can be described as confident and curious and questioning authority. One theory about their question of authority stems from the fact that this group has had the internet for most of their lives. They don't need to rely on their elders for information or education. They have the internet for that. They're the first true digital natives and prefer text and email communication. Following the millennials is Generation Z, born between 1997 and 2010. This group works to live and is not defined so much by their professional role. They're risk averse due to watching the previous millennial generation struggle as they did. They have always had technology and struggled to understand at times why folks would not use it. Following Generation Z, soon to join the workforce, is Generation Alpha. They have had social media since birth. They are family-oriented, having been raised by Generation X and millennial parents. And more than any other group we have described, they openly celebrate difference and do not rely on labels. In order to determine what our next generation leaders felt were their strengths, opportunities, and needs from a work environment, we developed a survey. We defined the next generation of leaders as those between 18 and 35 who are employed. To reach this group, we shared a link for our survey through text and social media, of course. The survey was open for 7 days, and we received a total of 32 responses. Given more time, it is the hope of the group that we would have had an expanded pool of responses, but we will present what we did receive. Our survey consisted of 2 parts. Respondents were asked to rate themselves on a scale from 1 novice to 5 experts in a set of evidence-based leadership competencies. Then they used the same scale of 1 low to 5 high to rate their personal importance of characteristics of the ideal workplace. What follows is a dive into our findings as compared to evidence in literature.
Our survey results have allowed us to take a look at some of the different leadership competencies and determine some areas where next generation leaders feel they may excel and some areas where they feel they may underperform. Trustworthiness, accountability, and emotional intelligence were all competencies our surveyed next generation leaders felt comfortable with. On the other hand, the top 5 leadership competencies our next generation leaders felt inexperienced in are financial acumen, employee engagement, innovation, conflict management, and team development. Why are these competencies so important in developing our future leaders? Let's take a closer look. Financial acumen is an essential leadership competency for several reasons. First, business understanding. Financial acumen allows leaders to understand the financial aspects of their organization and industry. This understanding is crucial for making informed decisions that align with the company's financial goals and strategies. It is also important for strategic decision-making. Next-gen leaders with strong financial acumen will be able to evaluate the financial implications of various options, enabling them to make better strategic decisions that positively impact the company's bottom line. And finally, it's important for communication and investor relations. Understanding financial concepts will enable the future leaders to communicate effectively with stakeholders, investors, and financial experts. This transparency fosters trust and confidence in the organization's performance. Financial acumen is important. However, our surveyed next-gen leaders felt that they may underperform in this leadership competency. And why might that be? It could be the lack of experience. Future leaders are relatively new to the workforce and might not have had extensive exposure to financial matters. They may feel less confident in financial decision-making due to their limited professional experience. Or it could be educational gaps. The level of financial education varies among individuals and their educational institutions. Some future leaders may not have received comprehensive training in financial management during their formal education. Or it could be the rapidly changing environment. The financial landscape is continuously evolving with technological advancements and global economic changes. Future leaders might feel a bit overwhelmed trying to keep up with the dynamic nature of finance. Overall, financial acumen is an essential leadership competency that all leaders should possess. Feeling confident in this competency will require effort, openness to learning, and willingness to engage with the financial matters proactively. The next competency our surveyed next-gen leaders felt a bit inexperienced in is employee engagement. Understanding employee engagement is important for all leaders because there are so many benefits. The first benefit is employee retention. Engaging employees is critical for retaining top talent, and this is an important piece of the employee satisfaction puzzle, as disengaged employees are more likely to leave their jobs. The next benefit is employee productivity. Companies with a high level of employee engagement are more profitable, and this is because employees who are engaged are more likely to have above average productivity. The next benefit is there's less burnout and better mental health. Mental health and burnout are finally coming to the forefront in most businesses. Supporting your employees with a real workplace wellness program leads to better employee experience and also stronger employee engagement. And the final benefit is the reduction of absenteeism. Every employee has to miss work every once in a while. But when those days become too frequent, it becomes a problem. And this could be a sign that your organization and the work environment need some employee engagement adjustments before the activity starts to negatively impact the company. So why might some next-gen leaders feel they may underperform in employee engagement? It could be leadership styles. Some next-gen leaders might adopt a more hands-off leadership style, assuming that giving autonomy to employees automatically leads to engagement. However, they might overlook the importance of providing guidance and support. Or it could be the multi-generational workforce. Next-gen leaders might find it challenging to engage in a diverse, multi-generational workforce with different values, expectations, and communication preferences. Or finally, it could be experience and confidence. As a relatively young leader, they might lack experience in handling complex employee-related issues, which could affect their confidence in fostering employee engagement. The third competency our surveyed next-gen leaders felt a bit inexperienced in is innovation. Innovation is important because it, 1, promotes creativity. Innovative leaders allow their subordinates to explore their creative sides in many aspects of their work, whether it be projects, problem solving, or how they work together as a team. Innovation also welcomes and provides feedback. In instances where team members generate new ideas, leaders who demonstrate innovation are open to discuss these concepts even further, and then they provide truthful, specific, and actionable feedback to their employees. And finally, innovative leaders believe in the power of collaboration. Creative insights are developed when people from different backgrounds, knowledge, and experiences all work together. Why might our surveyed next-gen leaders feel they may underperform in this leadership competency? First, it could be the hierarchical structures. In some organizations, the hierarchy may hinder innovative thinking and discourage next-generation leaders from expressing their ideas, making innovation feel a bit uncomfortable for them. Or it could be the fear of failure. The fear of failure can also hinder innovation. Next-gen leaders who have grown up in a culture that emphasizes achievement and success might be hesitant to take risks or try new approaches. The fourth competency our surveyed next-gen leaders felt a bit inexperienced in is conflict management. Conflict management is important in building relationships. If 2 or more parties struggle to resolve their conflict, these feelings may lead to an explosive behavior or resentment later on. It's also important for goal achievement. Ongoing conflict and situations may stand in the way of completing goals, particularly in business relationships. When arguments arise in the workplace, productivity typically declines. It can be difficult to focus or work together on a project when an underlying conflict is present. And finally, it's important for generating new insight. Resolution is important, but so is conflict in itself. When people have differing perspectives, this can open a door to new ideas, innovations, and also ways to solve problems. Next generation leaders might feel they may underperform in conflict management for a couple of reasons. 1, could be the limited amount of experience. As relatively young leaders, they may have less experience in handling complex conflicts compared to more seasoned leaders. Or it could be the lack of training. Organizations may not always provide adequate conflict management training to their young leaders, making it challenging to navigate conflict situations as they arise. The final competency our surveyed next-generation leaders felt inexperienced in is team management. Understanding team management is important for a few things. First, collaboration. Effective team management fosters collaboration and harnesses the diverse skills and perspectives of all team members, ultimately leading to better outcomes. Second, productivity. Skillful team management optimizes team performance, ensuring that tasks are allocated efficiently and that team members are motivated to achieve their goals. And finally, team management is important for employee development. A competent team manager can provide constructive feedback, support skill development, and create an encouraging environment for learning. So why might next generation leaders feel they may underperform in team management? 1, could be lack of experience. As relatively young leaders, they may have limited experience in managing and leading teams, leading to uncertainties and self-doubt. And next, communication challenges. Effective team management requires clear and open communication. However, living in a time where texting and social media is so prevalent, this may cause next generation leaders to lack in the softer skills, such as in-person communication and interpersonal dynamics.
Our survey identified the top 5 needs for our future leaders, which include integrity, fair wages, physical safety, psychological safety, and authenticity. We will explore each in the following slides. Next-gen leaders identified a need for integrity. Integrity refers to the adherence to moral and ethical principles, honesty, and transparency in all actions and decisions. It involves being truthful, honest, holding yourself accountable, being fair and impartial, and acting responsibly, even when faced with challenges. Demonstrating integrity fosters a positive work environment and builds trust among members of an organization. Next-gen leaders identified a need for fair wages. Fair wages refers to compensation that is just and equitable, providing all organization members with remuneration that reflects their skills, experience, and the value that they bring to the organization. This can look like pay structure for advancement, rewards and recognition, economic factors, and regular review. A fair wage ensures that members of the organization are compensated reasonably for their work, enabling them to meet their basic needs and maintain a decent standard of living. Next-gen leaders identified a need for physical safety. Physical safety is a critical aspect of ensuring the well-being and protection of employees from potential hazards and risks. It involves identifying and mitigating workplace dangers to prevent injuries, accidents, and occupational illnesses. This can look like members working in a psych unit at an area hospital receiving self-defense classes, physical accommodations such as a standing desk or a yoga ball chair. They may also look like health programs such as on-site gyms or gym membership reimbursements. Next-gen leaders identified a need for psychological safety. Psychological safety refers to the belief that employees feel safe and comfortable expressing their opinions, ideas, concerns, and feedback without fear of negative consequences. It is the feeling that their contributions will be valued and that they can take interpersonal risks without the fear of ridicule or punishment. This can be done by providing opportunities to improve conflict resolution, active listening, and socio-emotional skills. Psychological safety is crucial for fostering open communication, trust, and collaboration within teams, leading to higher levels of employee engagement and overall organizational success. Next-gen leaders identified a need for authenticity. Authenticity refers to individuals being true to themselves and displaying a genuine behavior, values, and emotions. It involves bringing one's real self to work, rather than putting on a facade or acting differently to conform to perceived expectations. This can be accomplished by fostering an environment that embraces empathy, vulnerability, mistakes, and constructive feedback. Emphasizing authenticity in organizations fosters a positive and inclusive culture where employees feel comfortable being who they are and are encouraged to share their unique perspectives.
The modern workforce is witnessing a seismic shift with the emergence of Generation Z and the prominent presence of millennials. These two generations bring unique perspectives, aspirations, and values to the workplace, demanding a shift in leadership styles to effectively inspire and lead them. As leaders, it is imperative to adapt and embrace the best leadership competencies that resonate with Generation Z and millennials by exhibiting credibility and earning their respect. Leaders can build strong connections with these generations, encourage loyalty, and commitment to the organization. In collaboration with our own survey, we looked into Harvard Business Publishing survey on leadership development programs, focusing on millennials and younger leaders aged 36 and below. The survey found that only 40% of millennials rated their organization's learning and development programs as excellent, compared to the 67% of baby boomers aged 56 and above. Millennials have different expectations for leadership development, emphasizing the need for technology, innovation, relevance, and choice. The following will discuss the competencies we will incorporate into our organization's leadership development program. The second competency in our leadership development program is empathy and emotional intelligence. A recent article by LinkedIn titled "What Millennials and Gen Z Look For in Leaders: Top Leadership Traits and Styles That Inspire the New Norm for the Gen Z" suggests that they seek authentic leaders who come with credibility, coaching-oriented leaders who engage in feedback and co-create the future, leaders who empower them to take ownership and contribute to the organization's growth, leaders who exhibit empathy and understand their needs, leaders who embrace digitization and technology, agile leaders who foster self-managed teams and collaboration, and leaders who encourage innovation and disruption. By empathizing with their struggles and aspirations, leaders can create a supportive and nurturing work environment where individuals feel valued and motivated to contribute their best. The third competency we'd like to add into our leadership development program is agile and innovative mindset. Harvard Business Publishing emphasized the importance of understanding younger leaders' perceptions to engage them effectively and draw organizational transformation. By fostering an environment that encourages creativity and exploration, leaders can tap into the vast potential that Generation Z and Millennials bring to the table. As Generation Z and Millennials take the reins of the modern workforce, the need for dynamic and inclusive leadership development has never been more crucial. By embodying authenticity, credibility, empathy, agility, and innovation, we can inspire and empower these generations to reach their fullest potential. Adapting leadership competencies to cater to the values and aspirations of Generation Z and Millennials will not only strengthen our organizations, but also foster a positive and forward-thinking work culture. Embracing these essential leadership competencies will propel us into a future of growth, innovation, and success.